This interview is brought to you by Nutanix. Nutanix makes extending to the public cloud simpler, faster, and more cost-effective by eliminating complicated application dependency mapping and refactoring. See how at nutanix.com/govcio.
Hi, thanks for tuning in to our AWS Summit special episode. I'm Editor-in-Chief Amy Kluber. I wanted to highlight this interview I conducted with two leaders from the Air Force Sustainment Center. The center is at the forefront of a modernization plan that really streamlines how the service monitors defense industrial activity. The two officials are John York, Cyber Ambassador, and Josh Thompson, Enterprise Architect. They talked to me about a new program called ATHENA, and I picked out some of the highlights from that conversation, so listen in.
So my priorities are depot modernization, and that's really where we're trying to go. If we can understand the equipment and how it's producing parts and how it's functioning, when it's going to break ahead of time, then we can significantly decrease the amount of downtime and increase the production surplus.
So I think I would echo what John just said, and then also providing the dashboards to senior leadership so that data visualization from the collection of that equipment on the sustainment floor, I think is really going to be key to letting the senior leaders make real-time business decisions based on data that's being provided to them immediately instead of it being months old or years old.
So I think that our biggest challenge is the frameworks that we have to work within. So in our area, operational technology and information technology have rarely been able to meet. There's been no good path to take the production metrics and the business information and combine those pieces of data. And so the cybersecurity tools that we're using today allow us to do that. They allow for isolation when it's needed, but it also allows for that congruent data.
We're being able to identify problems before they become problems. Being able to push data to the machines and pull that data. I mean, there's hundreds of sensors on thousands of devices that have not been collected for years and years. And now we're able to pull that data and really make it something that means something to the engineers that are using the equipment, all the way up to the commander that can see where he needs to spend his money. Again, that predictive maintenance that's being done. We're saving money while being more productive and seeing that utilization of equipment to where we can know when we need to replace that type of device.
Yeah, absolutely. So emerging technologies is always at the forefront of the Sustainment Center. So we've worked with OUSD, we've worked with other organizations, we've tested new wireless technologies and held them all up against our ROI metrics and our production values. The depot is an interesting environment for the Air Force. It's a little bit of a nuanced environment, and those emerging technologies we're always looking at. Exosuits would be a fantastic example. Ways to keep people safe, ways to increase production. So all of those are key staples of where we're headed.
So I think there's always been threats, but definitely we're starting to glean insight into those threats more the more we connect. So as we get more data and we're able to visualize, the dashboards that we're building are not just production dashboards, but we're also getting insight into the cybersecurity. And as we connect those devices, as they were disconnected, you didn't know what you didn't know. You have to assume that there's risk out there, threats. Now we're able to identify and mitigate those threats that are out there across the board. And some of it's inadvertent threats, and some of it's persistent threats that we're having to mitigate in a real-time environment. And then hire the right people to make sure that we can stay on top of those and respond to those incidents as they come through. So, and we've got a great team and a great leadership that is leading forward to make sure that we have the right people in place. So I think the fact that we are blazing a trail for, involving an AWS Outpost to provide an on-prem hybrid solution to being able to host data and then push up into the region or Cloud One is exciting, because we were the first IL5 production environment that's deployed this type of environment. And we're already seeing real-time benefit of it. The great thing is it works in a disconnected state too. And then when it reconnects, it pushes that data back to the Cloud One environment so that we can start providing that dashboards collectively from all the complexes.
I think that the lessons learned that we're getting are helping to reshape the culture. So culture, especially the cybersecurity culture, has always relied on air gapping and isolation and things like that. And as the larger DoD is pushing towards a zero trust cybersecurity posture, the things that we're learning about these machine tools that were in a disconnected state and really how unsafe and unsatisfactory that was, I think is really helping to shape the culture and allow for more connectivity, because that was the biggest roadblock, is that connectivity, or the lack of connectivity, was seen as security. And now that we're taking that mystery away and shaping that viewpoint a little bit, it's becoming easier and easier to progress, to connect, to get these data insights, because we're proving out that a connected, secure environment is much safer.